Hey everybody, this is some content from Act 2. So I have, for the first minute here, it's just kind of a spoiler warning because the visuals and everything about the game change so dramatically that if you're not ready for it and you don't realize what you're watching, you're going to spoil the game for you. So if you haven't gotten Act 2, I suggest you don't watch any of the other videos in this playlist because it really is kind of jarring and a really neat surprise when you start Act 2, when you finally get there. So please avoid watching these videos until you are in need of the information and until you know what is going on in Act 2. That's your warning. Here comes the video. And as I mentioned, hopefully you're only watching this after you already know what Act 2 looks like and what's going on. I figured that disclaimer is probably a helpful thing. I would hate for anyone to get spoiled with some of this game. So we are heading into the Temple of Magnificus. And right at the beginning of this clip here, we were actually in the mycologist's toadstool. It's right under Leshy. It's in between Leshy and Grimora's temples. But we just came into the Temple of Magnificus, and there is a note on the ground, and there is a strange monocle. And just like in Act 1, in order to see the puzzle for the cuckoo clock, you put this strange monocle on, and now you can see all the symbols that you need. So looking back at the note, paging through it, you see that it is skull, airborne, skull, and we get to fight Goobert. Goobert was in Act 1. It was first presented as one of the items that you can get for your backpack, I think. And Leshy says, "Oh, you're not supposed to take that. It doesn't do anything. It's not worth it." And maybe you believed him and you didn't take it. But you definitely want to take Goobert, because Goobert's actually really wonderful in Act 1. If you can't figure out some of the puzzles, Goobert will give you some hints, and he's great to just have around and talk to, and just pay visits when you're walking around the cabin trying to figure out all the various puzzles. But you got here in Act 2, so by now, if you didn't see him, if you didn't grab him, and if you didn't talk to him, you're gonna have to go back after you finish the game and replay Act 1. But you will see him in Casey's mod, and he is very useful in Casey's mod, actually. I love him in Casey's mod. He duplicates cards for you. He's a painter, and he paints copies of cards for you, and sometimes he gives you even more power or more health on your card, or a different sigil. So Goobert's great. He's good for comic relief too. So here in the Temple of Magnificus, it's the same deal as all the others. There are 3 minions you got to fight, and the puzzle section is you have to figure out these pillar puzzles that all have 3 symbols on them, and they're generally related to sigils that you have seen on the cards in Act 1. You're seeing some of them right now. The airborne sigil is right there on screen with the is that a raven? I think it's called a raven. The skull symbol, I don't really think that's a direct symbol that is used as a sigil. I thought it was maybe the touch of death that the adder has there, but it's not. Well, we beat Goobert, and you could always let him win once or twice, and he gets so excited about winning, and then you just go fight him again and then get what you need. So the thing about the magic cards is there's a new currency that they introduce with it, where there's 3 different gems, and you have to have a card that gives you the proper gem in order to use any of the cards in your deck that use that gem. So if you put down a card that needs an orange gem, I don't know, I think the orange one, no, the circular ones are called sapphires, I think, because they're blue. I don't remember what the orange ones are called, but any which way, like that rare card there in the middle, you place that, and then you can use any card that needs the orange gem. I kind of rearranged my deck here. So it's a little complicated, and it's, you know, it's a little clumsy making the Magic deck work for you. But you want to try to use it as much in this temple because, you know, you're gonna want to fight fire with fire, basically. So we figured out the first floor, we beat Goobert, and we got access to the second floor. And now here we are fighting a dummy, essentially is what it's called. And this dummy here is going to be your best friend in this act. This dummy is perfect for getting the Devil's Play trophy. It's good for getting the Dark Offering trophy, the item that you have to give to those glowing red eyes in the Temple of the Dead. That involves 2 cards, and you want to use the dummy in order to work this out. But for right now, we are trying to figure out the 3 symbols that we need for the pillar. So we already have 2 of them, which are the skull and the, I know it's not called shove, but that arm with the hand that basically pushes all cards to that direction, and then of course the airborne sigil. So skull, shove, and airborne. Whether or not it's called shove, I don't have the sigil key in front of me, unfortunately. When I was recording some of the commentary yesterday, I kept trying to figure out the sigil that shields against airborne, and it's called Mighty Leap. But also the bifurcated and trifurcated, what the Mantis does and the Mantis God with the 3 attacks or the 2 attacks. Those were the 2. Those are the 3 that I couldn't remember what they were called. So skull, the arm thing, and airborne. And that brings us to the second minion. And I don't know why it took a second here to start this conversation. So unfortunately, this fight doesn't end well for me. You know, I lose the battle, but I didn't end up recording a winning battle, unfortunately. I don't know what happened. Maybe I stopped playing after I lost this battle, and I came back to it, and then I just forgot to record the capture. But unfortunately, you're going to see this card battle start, and then you're going to see us on the next floor. So basically, beat this minion, and they're going to just give you access to the next floor. So this is floor 3. There's a card there's a rabbit in here. That's all that's in here. It might be another one of those special cards that you can't get anywhere else. And if you read the 3 notes, the notes are gonna tell you where to look. So we have I think the top one said that it's only seen by those who are greedy. The middle one says those who seek the light, I believe. So what I'm doing here is not correct. And you see the symbol there. That's the symbol actually for the 3rd one. And we're going to look at that clue in just a second. But that's the shovel or the dig sigil. The bottom sigil is found by the hard of hearing or by those who hear too easily. So I knew I had to go into the settings and look at the sound, but I thought maybe the middle one was also in here, but then I remember what it was. So again, the top one, which you didn't see me read, is found by those who are greedy. The middle one, those who seek the light. And the 3rd one is those who are hard of hearing or can hear too much or whatever it says. So I put this one in because we know that it's the shovel, the dig sigil. This one, oh, here we go. Top sigil is found by the greedy. So I opened up the chest, I got the rabbit, and I look in it a second time, and now you get the airborne sigil, which again, that airborne sigil is used way too many times for these clues. So we're going to put airborne. And the middle one, seek the light, it's pretty hard to figure out. So what you got to do is realize, if you see in the top left screen, there's a little bit of that magical paint. So that's trying to tell you to go into this dark corner and look around, and what do you know? Here is our symbol, and of course it's another skull. Of all the different sigils and symbols they could have used in the game, why do they use the same two, like, every single time? I don't know. So that brings us to the final minion. And this one, again, for some reason, I didn't even capture most of the fight. I apologize. Again, I don't know what I was doing. I don't think I was thinking I was going to use this much content, so I didn't necessarily record it. But it was the whole point of playing it on a second account. So the boss fight has ended. Or not the boss fight. The minion fight has ended. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, he might have revealed some things that I didn't want to necessarily keep in the video. Maybe that's what. So here we are at the top floor, and we have a note here. We have some painting going on in the middle. And up on top here is our third boss. This side room here, there is a tub of water down here, and if you mess around with it, you're going to get a tentacle and then a second tentacle. And that, now that we've collected the first tentacle by the docks where we got the clover, and those two tentacles there are going to give us a Great Kraken card. Great Kraken is really cool. A lot more useful in Casey's mod than it is here. I don't even think it does what it does in Casey's mod here. In Casey's mod, there are cards which I don't think are in Act 1 that involve tentacles. There's 3 different tentacle cards in Casey's mod, and when you use the Kraken, he's a waterborne. Like that's what he is. He's waterborne, so he submerges, so he doesn't take hits, and you take them directly, which is again a silly way to play. Here's the Magnificus fight, the Magnificus fight. I think that's his name. This is going to start here, and I'll talk about that in a second. But in Casey's mod, the Kraken then in a second turn turns into one of those tentacle cards. I don't think he does it here. I don't think I ever used the card here. So this is the boss fight here for the Temple of Magix, and what he does is he removes any sigils you have and paints new sigils on them. So you can try. I don't think it would work, but if you use a squirrel card and he happens to give you something like that one there, which is powered up, if you have the right gem, it will actually, well, I guess it won't. No, that isn't the one. Some of these sigils allow cards to attack when they normally wouldn't. So you could try to use a squirrel in this fight and see if you can attack the boss with a squirrel card and get Squirrel Wrangler. But I wasn't able to make it happen. I won this fight the first time. I was trying to actually lose the fight so I could reconfigure my deck and try to get a squirrel to work for me, but unfortunately I won it too quickly, and so I'm thinking of going back and trying that out after I finish the game. because on this account, this is my secondary account, Imaginary Completionist, I don't have the Squirrel Wrangler trophy yet. So I would love to find out whether or not you could actually get it in this fight. But it's pretty much the only fight where you can, because I don't think we have the alpha card to use in previous fights. Yeah, I don't think we have the alpha card, because that's the only other way you can get a squirrel to actually attack and get that trophy. But anyway, there's 2 rounds, and this boss, after the first round, he kind of gives up. So, it's kind of interesting how some of these bosses, most of these bosses are super easy, you know? They're not really that difficult. Once you know the trick to some of them, they're pretty easy to win against, and some of them just don't even really cause you too many problems. And it's worth noting, that's our little buddy there that we just fought before. I love how he comes out and he dances around. I forgot about that. I didn't even notice that was going on. But something else I wanted to note, I wanted to mention is Magnificus. If you notice, one of his eyes is damaged, and so Grimora was the stink bug. Leshy was who we fought in Act 1. And Magnificus is actually the stunted wolf card from Act 1. And there's his magic eye. So that leaves only one more character who was talking to us in Act 1, and we will see them in the next video. But there you have it. We have beaten Magnificus. We've gotten the trophy for finishing the Temple of Magix. We got our 2 card packs here. Also on the, I think it's on the bottom level of this temple, you can look at a book that will tell you how many cards you're missing for the collective effort trophy. So, hope that helped. Take care.